to the introductory video of bipolar junction transistor. Here word itself suggests that bipolar junction. So what does that mean? What do we exactly mean by the bipolar? So for that understanding, first we will go to understand the concept of the bipolar or unipolar. What do we exactly mean by the bipolar or unipolar? Now, previously we have seen the PN junction diode, but in PN junction diode, we know that the PN junction will be generally of unipolar. So for PN junction diode, that is simple, there is only one junction, but here there are two different junctions. This is called as the ammeter junction, and this one is called as the collector junction. So we will try to understand this concept by comparing this junction transistor with the PN junction diode. As we have seen that PN junction diode, there were only one junction, and we are getting that idea of polarity from the charge which is being transferred into the end region or P region. So first of all, try to understand that for N region and P region, there are some majority and minority carriers. As we know that the P type semiconductor will have the holes as an majority charge carriers, and for the N type semiconductor they will have the majority charge carriers as an electrons. So both will have different minority charge carriers. So for P type, the minority charge carriers will be holes, will be electrons, and for N type semiconductor, the minority charge carriers will be holes. So in this idea, so whatever we are going to understand right now, that is about the polarity, right? Polarity means what are the charges which are mostly responsible for the flow of current into the semiconductor materials. So in the PN junction diode, we can understand that there were only one type of charge carriers at a time flowing into the diode. So for the PN junction diode, we know that any one type of charge carriers, I think there will be electrons. First we will take the case of electrons, then it is clearly seen that whenever the depletion layer is formed, but due to the heavy amount of voltages, not heavy but remaining about 0.7 volts for the silicon diodes, then it will be start conducting after the 0.7 volts crossed. So for the bipolar junction transistor, here it can be understood that both the types of charge carriers are responsible for the charge carriers. In diode also we can understood that both the charge carriers can be possible. See, in diode there will be first case of electrons. Now second case, if we understood that the holes are as positively charged, and if this positively charged holes will traveling towards the N to P region, or we can say P to N region, and due to this condition the electrons will be getting attracted towards the electrons, and rest of the charge carriers will be traveling towards the P to N region, and hence there will be a condition when there will be more number of holes in the N region, and there will be more number of electrons into the P region. Now this whole process is we can understood that this whole process can be understood that it is a flow of current. See, so in this type of flow of current can be possible into the region for the P to N junction diode. Now right now for this bipolar, first of all understand that bipolar means this, as we understood in the diode, there are both the possibilities in the case of the transistor. So first of all, both the charge carriers are equally responsible for the flow of current into the bipolar junction transistor. See, so this is the basic word that we can getting the idea about the bipolarity. Now second word, that is transistor. Now what do we exactly mean by this? Then we can say that the transfer plus resistor means this kind of the structure will offer some resistance, and in this between two the in between to the this regions there will be a power flow, and power is being transferred from a low power circuitry, low resistance circuitry, to a high resistance circuitry, or we can say a high impedance circuitry, or we can say low impedance circuitry to high impedance circuitry. So this is the basic idea, that is power is being transferred from a low resistor circuit to the high resistor circuit, and this is the basic condition for the bipolar junction transistor operation. So here we can understood by this particular operations in the transistor. We can also consider this transistor as in two PN junction diodes which are connected back to back but in different positions. Right now you can see that the PN is a particular different diode. If we ignore the AND region, if we ignore this region, AND region, and consider only this two terminals across this, then it is forming a diode. And here it will also that if we do not consider this AND region, then it is also forming a PN junction diode. But the first PN junction diode, its direction was opposite towards this regular PN junction diode. So we can able to draw this kind of figure. See, there is a particular PN junction diode and there is also a particular PN junction diode. This both the PN junction diodes are connected in different positions. So if we provide some kind of biasing to this particular circuitry, then it will form forward bias, and for that condition we need to apply positive terminal to over here and the negative terminal to this cathode connection. So it will be in the forward bias condition, and if we apply the forward bias over here, right now positive terminal to this terminal and negative will be with this cathode, so it will be in forward bias condition. So this kind of two different diodes working in a working condition, and in a working condition there will be some kind of different operation which we will going to understand in further video. So this is the basic idea about the transistor. So both the particular words are different in itself, and they are forming a different meaning of this particular transistor. So by this two words we can able to understand many of the things. So right now you can ask me that why the junction word is here. So we know that there will be two different junctions over here. So JE and JC are there. So first junction will be called as the emitter junction, and second is called as the collector junction. Now why it is called like this? So try to understand that the first N region is called as the emitter region. In between these two N regions there will be a small slide of P region, that is base junction, or we can say the base region, not base junction but the base region, and the third particle, that is third region, that is collector. Now all these three will have some different types of doping levels, as we have discussed in the diode video, that there will be some doping of majority carriers or minority carriers for holes and electrons, and it will be forming a semiconductor likewise to form a current from in it whenever we apply some kind of input voltages. So for this doping level, or we can say the impurities also, so for the doping level of this, all three regions are different. First we will consider this emitter region. This one is called as the emitter region. Emitter region is heavily doped with the electrons. As we can see that that is n type semiconductor, so there will be majority charge carriers, electrons over there, and likewise there will be some holes in the p region, but considerably uh, very less than this particular emitter region. And for the collector region, if we consider, or if we compare this collector region with the emitter region, there will be considerably small doping level compared to this emitter region. So we can say that the emitter region is heavily doped. So for the emitter region, the heavily doped electrons will conclude, or we can say induce a current into the circuit whenever we apply some kind of voltages. Here the here the second type of transistor, that is called as the PNP. This one was the NPN, and for the PNP transistor there will be also this kind of region names. The first is called as the emitter, second is base, and third is the collector. But right now the PNP transistor is not much in use, so we will just go through it, that this doping levels, from that this doping level we can also understood that there will be some majority charge carriers over here, but for the p type semiconductor there will be holes, for n type semiconductor there will be electrons, and for p type semiconductor there will be again the holes. So this is the basic definition. uh, there are some different analogies over this NPN transistor, that the emitter region, the whatever the current will be passing through this region, that is called as the emitter current. The current passing through this terminal, that is called as base current. The current passing through this region is called as the collector current. So for same will be applied to this bipolar junction transistor. So this is the basic understanding of the bipolar junction transistor, and I'm not getting in these details. You can read this at your own and try to understand this. This is the basic construction about the bipolar junction transistor, and we can say that this is the equivalent circuit of a transistor, or we can say the BJT, or we can say the bipolar junction transistor. So this is the basic idea. Now we are discussing about it. It's some different things which I have not discussed much. That is, we can say that there are two junctions. So transistor can be considered as two diode connected back to back, that we have seen, and there are three terminals. That is also an obvious thing that we can see in this particular region. So one more thing we have left behind, that is the circuit symbol of the transistor. We can say this is collector, base. Some things which we have not discussed, that is emitter is heavily doped, so it can inject large amount of carriers into the base. As we can say one thing, that is the current, that is IE, equals to IB plus IC. That means the base current and the collector current both, if we sum up the both, then it will provide you the ammeter current. This is the basic idea about the transistor, and it will be helpful for all the fundas for the transistors. So this is the basic thing, that the ammeter current will be the total of this base current and the collector current, and from this we can able to understand the two different current gains, that are alpha and beta, and that are discussed in the next video. But this is the basic idea about the transistor. Right now, if we discuss this thing, that there will be some forward bias voltage over here, and there will be some reverse bias voltage at the output side, then what happens, that whenever we apply some kind of voltages over here, then what happens, that majority carriers, that are electrons for the emitter region, they will start traveling towards the P region. Now 10% of amount of current, likewise if we take the 100% current which is going or passing through this transistor, then we can able to understand that the 10% of current that will be going to pass, or that will be forming a base current. So the base current value will be in the always in the microampere range, and whenever we discuss about this particular collector current, there will be chances of 90% electrons will be traveling towards the collector region and forming a collector current. So always whenever you will see the characteristics of VI characteristics of this transistor, you can see that collector current values will be more higher, means in milliampere range. So there will be chances of this type of operation. And basically if you take any kind of transistors, this kind of operation you will be seen in this transistor operating conditions. So this is the basic idea about the transistor. And base is lightly doped, that we have discussed. Collector is moderately doped, but the emitter is always the highest. Mind one thing, that emitter will be in this conditions that it can supply both the base and collector regions. The junction between emitter base is called emitter base junction, and junction between base and collector is called collector base junction, or we can say that emitter diode, collector diode, or we can say emitter junction and collector junction. The emitter diode is always forward biased and collector diode is reverse biased. The resistance of emitter diode is very small and resistance of collector diode is very high, because it is due to the reverse bias condition. We already know that the PN junction diode, if a PN junction diode is reverse bias, then the reverse bias condition will offer a heavy amount of resistance. So that is the basic idea. Now we are going to understand the working of NPN transistor. Already I have discussed almost the working, but still we will see that forward bias is applied to emitter base junction. Here you can see that the forward bias condition is applied to the first PN junction diode, and reverse bias is applied to collector base junction. Now biasing conditions, I will explain you in the next video, that for the different biasing conditions, the transistor will be operated in the different regions. So here we are considering the forward and the reverse bias condition, means this transistor is being operated in the amplifier region. That means that is the action whichever will be provided by this transistor will be the amplification process. So this is the working of an NPN transistor, and likewise we can also able to understand the working of PNP transistor. The equation which I have discussed in the previous slide, that is over here. This recombined electrons constitute small base current. The remainder electrons crosses base and constitute collector current, that we have already discussed. That is 10% of current will be flowing through the base, that is base current, and the rest of the electrons will travel towards the collector region, and that will be formed as an collector current. So for working of PNP transistor, that is a basic idea. This is, I am telling you that this one is not much in use nowadays or before the days, but the PNP transistor, if we need to understand, then forward bias is applied to emitter base junction and reverse bias is applied to the collector base junction. Again I am saying that this biasing condition will provide you the different actions of the transistor, but right now we are considering only one action, that is due to this forward reverse condition, that is amplification process, and the transistor will be operating into the amplifier condition. The forward bias in the emitter base junction causes holes to move toward base, that we know that the p type having majority carriers as an holes, and it will be start flowing towards the n type region. This constitute emitter current I, and after that as these holes flow toward n type base, they try to recombine with electrons. As base is lightly doped, only few holes recombine with electrons with the base. Thus recombined holes constitute a small base current. The remainder holes crosses base and constitute collector current. So this is the basic idea. Likewise, we have discussed in the NPN transistor, whichever will be applied for the PNP transistor. So this is the basic idea, and the flow of current will be in the opposite directions of both the transistors. For NPN there will be direction like this, and for PNP there will be direction like this, and this is the basic circuit diagram which are generally transistor is being represented with. So this is the basic idea, and by this way we can able to understand, or we can be able to see the working of the transistor. If you check any different types of transistors, and if you will provide the forward and the reverse bias condition, then it will be formed as an amplifier, and it will provide you some amplification at the output terminals. So this is the basic idea. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you for watching.